So you're.
If you're going to record, I need to know, do I need to keep this PG?
No.
Okay, cool. No filters. All right, just checking. I'm not apologizing then.
No. And this won't be on this is going to be on PC's own YouTube channel. It's not going to be on anything. And I guess you should ask him, but I imagine it's not a problem. We've cursed a lot in this game already, so if it's a problem, then that's a problem. But you will curse in this game probably. All right, so in this game, you are one of these 12 characters that we're going to be playing with. And you're going to be dealt 2 cards, and you're going to choose one to be your playable character and one to be your bonus character. All right? So your playable character, let's say your playable character is here, the Exile. Your playable character, you care about this stuff right here, the VPs. So every character has different VPs, and so essentially they want to do different things. And you want to do those things. And then you're going to have a bonus character, and your bonus character cares about these icons in the lower left. So if there are green shields, that means you get that many points for your bonus character surviving. If it has red targets, that means you get that many points for your bonus character dying before Stationfall, before the end of the game. All right, so so that is essentially what you're trying to do. The sequence of play is pretty straightforward. This is the sequence of play right here. You can decide if you want to decide if you want to renegotiate or not. Essentially, do you want to pass? Do you want to skip the remainder of your turn? And you can optionally take back cubes and this, and I'll explain that in a second. And then you decide if you want to reveal. Do you want to reveal your playable character? The pros to, by the way, I'm going to put out. Teasing wrote a very good, strategy, strategy tip thing. And I'm going to paste it. No, let me. All right, so I'm gonna put it here, and that's tips. All right, so we can put that there like so. And that's just going to be, very, very simple. Like, what do I want to do first turn? What do I want to do? Like, when do I want to reveal? What happens if I'm dead? Stuff like that. But in any case, you're going to reveal, and when you reveal, as it says right here, what are the pros to revealing? You get new conspiracy powers. So this right here is the conspiracy power for the different players in the game. And those are just special powers, either one time or throughout the game, that you get when you reveal. You can also, if somebody has put cubes on your card, and I'll go over that in a second, those cubes go back to you, and any cubes that are other players, that's going to go to the betrayal box. So they lose what is essentially the currency in the game. And no one else can use your character anymore. All right? So we can go back to reveal. But you decide if you want to reveal. Then you decide if you want to suborn someone. All right? So suborn is basically taking these cubes. So Pyro, I'm gonna be. Do you mind switching colors? Because I'm definitely gonna be grabbing red by mistake.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So let's say that I take
pink.
I can take a cube, a suborn cube, and I can put it on any NPC, any non-playable character, meaning any character that has not been revealed, and that signifies that I'm suborning them. I'm trying to get them to do something I want to do. If I have the most cubes or tied for the most cubes on any character, they are a conspirator of mine. All right, they're one of my conspirators. So I can decide to put any number of cubes on any NPC, right? And I can put all 8 of them if I want. I don't recommend that, or just whatever number I want. I cannot suborn dead characters, and I cannot suborn characters that have left the station. So let's say that I want to suborn the exile right here, right? That means that they are now my conspirator because I have more cubes than anyone else, and that is the suborn phase. Next, you decide if you want to activate someone. Activating is basically that is a character that you're going to do something with on this turn. You don't have to activate the same character that you just suborned, but you do have to activate a character that is a conspirator. You can only activate conspirators, right? So I can't activate anyone else except the exile, because the exile is my only conspirator. Right now, if there are no discs on the character when you activate them, you can do 2 actions. If there is at least 1 disc on a character, you can only do 1 action, which means that if I activate this character and I did 2 actions, and then on my next turn I wanted to activate this character again, I can only do 1 action because there's already a disc here, my disc. There are some characters that have the uncanny ability, like the stranger. You may perform 2 actions even if it has a disc on it, but for the most part, it's going to be two actions if there's no disc, 1 action if you have 1 disc. All right, so then you're going to activate them, and you're going to do 2 actions. These are the actions right here. So I'm not going to talk about all of the actions right away. Just know that there are certain things that you can do. And they're here. And as we start playing the game, I'm going to mention. I think we'll have me go first, and then Pizin. We've both played the game dozens of times, and you can. I will explain the actions as they are happening. So actually, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn on turns, and I'm going to have Pizin go first. Here, order. Custom. There. Okay. So, and I'll describe the actions as they happen. But you're going to do certain actions, and you're going to do 2 of them, or however many you can do. And then you're going to resolve, after that, you're going to resolve any events. So if there are any events that happen from time markers, which I'll go over eventually, that happens, and then that's the end of your turn. Now, you have a bribe token here. This bribe token can be used once during the game. You can use that to bribe any character to do an action outside of your activation, right? So I could theoretically activate a character, do 2 actions, then bribe a different character and have them do an action. Now, you can only activate NPCs and your PC, right? You can't activate other people's PC. If somebody has revealed, you cannot do an action with that character. However, you can still attempt to bribe them. So if somebody reveals, let's say Pizin reveals as the engineer, I can say, okay, Pizin, I want the engineer to do something. Here is a bribe. And Pizin decides if he wants to do it or not. Well, why would he want to do it? Because this bribe is worth a point at the end of the game for whoever has it. If I keep this bribe at the end of the game, that's a point for me. If I give it to Pizin, that's a point for him. So that is the bribe.
Question. If someone bribes you, do you then get access to that bribe token to pass on to someone else?
No.
Okay, so it's flat 1 use. Cool.
You only have 1 bribe, and yeah. So there is a character called the Billionaire that allows you to do something like that, but we're not playing with the Billionaire because he's a little more complicated. Like I said, this is going to be a simpler game than it can be. Okay, so that's really all we need to talk about right now is the sequence of play, the fact that there are going to be actions, and I will discuss the rest later. I'm trying out this method of teach, and we'll see how well it works. All right, so I'm going to take my first turn. Actually, no, I'm not going to take my first turn. We're going to deal out the cards. Pizin, do you have are these the cards right here?
Yes, and I suppose no aliens.
No aliens. No aliens, no moles.
Yeah,
Simple, simple.
it should be ready. All.
Okay. I'm going to deal 2 characters, and you're going to pick one to be your PC and one to be your bonus. You're going to rotate your bonus 90 degrees. And once everyone's set, we can start.
Hey Andy, what's this value on the
What's
on the counselor, for example?
that is the chain of command. So that person is in the chain of command, and that matters for reasons. So the commander right now is in command, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 characters in this game that are in the chain of command, and that matters for some victory conditions. For example, the test subject wants everyone in the chain of command to be dead at the end of the game, and that's it matters for certain things that I won't really go into too much right now. But it's not, you shouldn't concern yourself too much about it now when picking characters. I would say just pick a character that sounds cool, but don't concern yourself too much about strategy of picking a character.
Sounds good.
Again, the other players in this game are oath players, and as in that game, there's a lot of stuff that I don't want to cover right away, and you just kind of have to play through it and see how it works. We did make a video, but PC made a wonderful video. The video is an hour and 20 minutes long, so that'll give you a general idea of how long it would take to teach this. All right. So we are set. I'm going to take my first turn. So I'm going to look at my ability, or I'm going to look at my card, and I'm going to decide if I want to reveal it right away. I'm going to say no right now. So now I'm looking at my victory condition, and I'm trying to see what it is that I want to do, how I'm going to score points, and then I need to figure out ways to do that. How I want to do that without, number one, revealing who I am, because I can't just straight up start doing things. Though I don't recommend against that, but I probably want to be a little crafty, and. Yeah, so there's also here in the tip section, it'll tell you what to do at the beginning. So read all the characters carefully and find out which can be helpful to you. All of the stuff in there is worth reading to figure out what to do at the beginning, and you can read that while I'm taking my turn, and you can listen as well. All right, so I am going to take this back, and one good thing to do your first turn is see if there's any compromat that is worth grabbing. Compromat is the way that compromat works is it's an item that you can pick up as a free action. So yeah, and compromat is like a bribe, but it only works for one character. So each of these compromat is if you turn it over, it's going to have the icon of one of the characters in the game, and you can use that compromat to make one of those characters do something. So that's essentially a free action with a random character. So I'm going to, I think, suborn. So I could suborn the counselor, could suborn the commander. I think I'll suborn the commander. So with the commander, I'm going to pick up this compromat. So the pickup action can be done as a free action once in your turn, right? So I'm going to pick up this compromat as a free action. Sorry, my apologies. I have to suborn, then I have to activate, and now as my first action, I'm going to pick up that compromat for free, and then I'm going to move into here, and I'm going to pick up this compromat as my second action. And this is a new rule that we literally just decided to try as of like an hour ago. Is compromat being a thing that you can pick up instead of uncover. And yeah, it's pretty powerful right now. We're probably gonna have to change the directions of these, BZ. I'll mention it to Matt.
Yeah, I think
All right,
it's
so that
quite
is
strong.
that is my first turn, and then it goes to PZ, and I'm gonna start writing some notes.
Yes. That was my plan.
Well, I'm glad that for once I'm messing you up instead of the reverse. This is like my 35th or so play, and this is maybe PZ's like 20 something of play. So we've played this game a lot.
Okay.
I do feel like the first time I played Oath, where I'm like, okay, well, let's just do things and see what happens.
Yeah, I was there. I was there when you first played Oath, and then I lost you to Oath. It was
So
And
I
COVID.
Serborn Daredevil. I take Compromat for free. Nanomet for 1 action. And for second action I move.
all right. So PZ, what did you do? Sorry, I want to go over because I'm going to be teaching rules that way. Sorry, I was
I
paying enough attention.
Serborn Daredevil.
Okay.
So I have 2 actions.
Mm-hmm.
I pick Nanomets
And then
as
you
a
moved
free
from
action.
there. Okay, so PZ took the nanomeds, and the nanomeds allow you to revive a dead character.
Dead human.
So you can use the nanomeds twice. So you use it once, you flip it over. You use it the second time, it goes away. So that was the first thing that PZ did. Then,
But only on humans.
yeah, only on humans.
And
Well,
my
when I say dead, I mean yeah. So down. So we use the term down because some characters are not human. When you're down, you're essentially like dead. Humans are the only ones that can have nanomeds used with them. If you want to revive a robot, you need to repair it with somebody that has jury rig or go to the machine shop. In any case, so Biza moved into here as his first action. And then no.
Yeah, that's all.
And that's it. Okay. So now it goes to Nav. Nav. I would say look at your victory conditions. I can tell you a couple things that you may have questions about. If you care about getting items, the artifact is here. The loot is here. The evidence can be manufactured at the security station. The biosample can be manufactured here. And that is pretty much all the items in this game. If you want people to die, that is there are some things that you need to be aware of. You need a weapon, so there's weapons here and there. The troubleshooter starts with a weapon. The security bot starts with a gun, but the security bot can't attack non-fugitives. And when you attack people, if it is a lit, so there are 2 types of rooms. There are dark rooms and there are lit rooms. And the dark rooms have a black background, and the lit rooms have a not black background. If you are in a dark section, you can just wantonly attack somebody. If you are in a lit section and the cameras are on, Disney, where's the camera thing here? Is that not?
It's on the security station now.
Oh, so he moved it all the way over there. Interesting. Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure that doesn't still go here?
Yeah, it's
Because it says here, oh, if cameras are off. Okay. Yep. Sorry, that recently changed. Okay. So if you're in a lit section and the cameras are on, and you attack somebody, there's evidence, there's footage of that attack taking place, and you have to put one of your colored discs here in the suspect space. All right. And what does that mean? Nothing right now. It just means that there's evidence of you committing a crime. If somebody submits the evidence to the authorities, then you are guilty, and you have to move your token to the guilty space. And what that means is you cannot win the game if you are guilty. How do you clear your name? Well, you have to submit your own evidence to clear your name. So you have to go manufacture evidence and send it to the authorities as well, and then you are a suspect again. In this game, that's how that's going to work. We have a legal bot that can defend you, and a whole bunch of things can happen. But in this case, that's how that works. So when you're attacking somebody, you either want to make sure you do it in a dark section, or you turn the cameras off. How do you turn the cameras off? Well, you have to go to a security station and turn the cameras off. So that's something to concern yourself with if you care about killing other people. And you can kill people in various indirect ways. If there are hazards and just different things. But for the most part, that's what you should be concerned with when you are looking at your victory conditions: is how to get these items, how to kill people. Survive, I won't quite discuss right now, but surviving means you have to make it off of the station for the most part, and there's you can either do that through the launch, the escape pods, or with a dive suit. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because that's a ways away.
Sounds good.
Yeah, right now I would probably concern yourself with maybe trying to get compromat, or trying to work towards your victory condition.
Yep, and are the dotted lines any different than the straight lines for connections?
They absolutely are. So when you're moving, you can move along the corridors, the regular corridors, as a regular action. Only characters with tunnel rat can move through the vents, and the vents are the dashed brown line. So the stowaway is a tunnel rat. The troubleshooter is also a tunnel rat. And the monkey's a tunnel rat.
Got it. Okay. Let's just have some fun. I will place a cube on the troubleshooter. And then activate. So I can move here. I can pick this up for free, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And that comes to my hand or just my play area? Where are we putting them?
So this is a little counterintuitive, and the compromat is the thing that we're having the most trouble with, because it works so differently than everything else. Items, normally when you pick them up, they go to the player card.
Okay.
Compromat works differently. When you pick up a compromat, it goes to your hand.
Okay. I'll take that.
Do you have one more action?
And so what does this mean here, this forward life support?
All right, so there's different types. So these rooms are basically almost like characters in the game, and they all can have different abilities. If there's a purple name, that means that room has a special ability. If it's like Board Hub, where it's just a white text, that means that it doesn't have a particularly special ability. The thing about the forward life support that is interesting is the fact that you can go EVA from here. So EVA means that you can go to this space right here. This is essentially acts like a room. This is space. So if you have a helmet, you can go EVA, and then you're in space. And from EVA, you can enter any EVA spot that has an arrow pointing back into the station. So you can EVA out here and then enter here, or you can EVA at the rear airlocks and enter in the forward airlocks. And if you're curious what any room does, they're all going to be here. This is not how it's going to be in the regular game. We're going to have the information in the room, but it is what it is right now.
You can damage the room with your weapon, and then can someone else can spread deadly gas on the rink, but it is quite complicated.
I see.
Yeah, so
okay.
that's another thing that happens for life support. In this case, if that section is damaged, until the section is repaired, the fire suppression system may place a time disc in a non-hub. So that's just, don't worry about it. It's if there's a fire, this can be a problem if this is not if this is damaged. But I wouldn't concern yourself too much about I'll let you know when stuff is things that you need to know.
Sure. Okay, and then I guess I'm going to move again to the chem lab.
Okay.
And I assume you have to move your disc at every turn. You have to activate a different player. You can't.
You
use
don't
the
have to
same
activate
character.
a different character. You can activate the same character, but remember, if there's already a disc on that character, including your own, you can only do one action.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's usually better switch characters, so you get more actions.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get your cubes back? So if you start subs,
Yes. So
side. Sorry, I can't
the renegotiate action allows you to, instead of taking a turn, take back one of your cubes. You cannot take back cubes from characters that are gone, that have survived, that are in the mesosphere, and you cannot take back cubes that are in the betrayal box.
Okay.
Another thing to note is that your character has a cube limit. So you'll notice that your character has a number in the top right that has a number and a cube. That is your cube limit. So if you go over that many cubes, you are going to lose points for every cube that you have gone over. So you have 8 cubes, but if I, for example, have a cube limit of 4, and I spend all 8 of my cubes, that's minus 4 points at the end of the game.
But if you reveal as your character, you get your cubes on that character back.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Re-exile then. And I apologize if I do anything by mistake, but I'm going to attempt to do things.
Yeah, that's the game.
So I do one action to move for the machine shop, second action to move for airlocks, and I can pick up as a free action.
Correct.
Yes.
Pick the helmet, and that's
So
it.
helmets are useful for a variety of things. Number one, you can exist in hazards with a helmet. Hazards are space, fire, and gas. So there's this symbol right here, this little chit, that is a hazardous gas. So the magnetic containment is covered in gas, and I believe that's it. I guess it's no longer in the cryolab. So that helps you with that. It also protects you against weapons. So if somebody has a weapon and you have a helmet on, they cannot attack you. They can still kill you with a gun. A gun and a weapon are different things, but they can attack you with a weapon. So helmets are good. All right, so back to me. Now, what do I want to do? I am going to. So this is an interesting point. I guess that's still a thing, huh? So this is going to be a bit unusual, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to continue to. I guess I can go down there and pick that up for free. So that works either way. Yeah, so I am.
And I move the turn marker.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to. I don't know that I want to do that with the. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm going to put a cube on the exile, and I'm going to move the exile. Sorry, activate the exile, and move the exile into Escape Pod Houdini, and as a free action, pick up this compliment.
Okay, I activate also same time Daredevil. I move here to the full cells and I pick compromise. Commander can go to the locked rooms, the locked corridors.
Yes.
And in
That,
this
that, that
in
may
this
be my
room,
next step.
any compromise can
So-
be picked up.
So these black discs, these are locked corridors. You can only go through those corridors if you have command. So the commander has command. There are some other characters that can act as if they have command if the jammers are turned off. Right now the jammers are on. To turn the jammers off, you have to do a system action. You can do a system action in any of the rooms that have this blue icon on them. Also, the person in command can do a system action from anywhere. So if you turn the jammers off, then the exile and the stowaway also act as if they have command. And when you go through a locked corridor and you have command, the essentially it unlocks and you remove the disc. As Bezine mentioned, you could activate the commander, move here, and this goes away. And the shred room is a special room where you can grab compromat from anywhere in the station. Essentially, this is the counselor's locked filing cabinet that has everyone's secrets in.
Got it.
But you can
I'll do that. Yeah, I think that sounds like a reasonable move.
Yeah, it was going to be my move.
So he goes here. This comes off.
Yeah, the commander is a she, but yes.
She comes here.
Yeah, it's going to be easier when we have the art, which the art is looking amazing, by the way. I'm so excited to have the art in the game. This is all Matt's
I will
art.
take from the storm shelter.
Ooh, this is called the storm shelter now. He named all the leaves.
One action. Moving was the one action.
Moving
Then
is an action,
activating
and grabbing compromat is a free action.
Is a free action. And I don't know, you don't activate the room that you're in. That's just the ability that you get when you're in there.
It's a good question. I'm actually going to see if it is a section action to do. So the shred room. From here, character can uncover compromat from anywhere. It doesn't say it's an action, so yeah. So that probably should be an action. I'm actually going to note that. Shred room should be an action. Yeah. Okay.
Are these two connected?
So this map is not well laid out. Again, that's another thing that we're going to be changing as soon as we get actual art in this. So this station has 7 levels, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 2 rings.
You can look
So
on
the
the
yellow
on the
ring-
model on the left left top.
So the yellow ring, it follows this model right here. So the yellow ring is its own thing, and the blue ring is its own thing. And you can move from the yellow ring to the blue ring through these vents. But if you don't have tunnel rat, if you want to get from this to this, it's actually quite the trip. You have to go forward hub, rear hub,
Yeah.
here, there, etc.
So
This is not connected to this.
Sorry, that was a bit offline. I meant for real life support and security station.
Yes.
Because there's just a gap in the line there. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
and
yes.
It's the same thing with, so anytime you see a gap, that's just, disregard it. So the same thing with this right here, the same thing with all of these. They're just gaps because of, poor art. Poor design art.
Not sure. There's a cube on the chimp. Activate that.
That is not your color.
Oh, sorry. I usually play red as well, that's why. Same place. Yes. And I'm just going to move to security station, and I don't need any special thing, like I can just turn the jammers off, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Mm-hmm. There you go. The jammers are now off. So what that means is that, number one, the stowaway and the exile now both act as if they have command. Also, data can now be transmitted to other players in the station. So what's data? The evidence is data in this game, and the Project X or the X secret is data. So you can zap data from one player to another player as an action. So if the chimp, for example, were to manufacture the evidence would go to the chimp, and now as a second action, the chimp can send that evidence to any other player. A player can delete data if they want to, but they have to be a PC. They have to be a revealed character. And then there's a lot more that you can do with data, but in this game, this is all you need to concern yourself with. Okay, so I'm going to reveal, I think. I don't think it's going to be a surprise to Peter, at least, who I am, in the exile. And I'm going to activate the commander again. Unfortunately, it was done before me, so I can only do two of these.
You should work with the cubes on the character first.
I'm sorry?
You should take your cube back.
Right. So I take my cube back because I revealed. I put this cube in the betrayal box, and then I put my ball here. And the ball should be different colors. If it's not, just tint your ball to your color to show that is.
I change color of all.
Good ball. All right. And now no one can control the exile unless they try to bribe me or they have a compromat. And in that case, I can decide if I want to do it or not. If I decide to refuse to do the action that you want me to do, I have to become a suspect. So the thinking there is that this compromat is just a bad thing that you did, and you're trying to extort me with that bad thing that I did, and I either do what you say, or you're going to tell people that I did a bad thing, and then I become a suspect. All right, so I've revealed, I'm going to still activate the commander, and I'm going to pick up this compromat as a free action, and then this compromat as an action. Yeah, picking up compromat as a free action is pretty strong. It's the first time we're doing this.
I think so.
pretty strong for the exile in particular. So, all right. That's my no. That's not my turn because I have a free. I have a my conspiracy power allows me to do either discard 2 compromat to grab a discarded compromat, which there aren't any, so I'm not going to do that. Or I can play a compromat and then I will get that back. So I want to do this.
But you need to activate self and its action.
You're right. That is correct. So I'm actually done.
Hmm.
I mean, is that the case though, Peter? Or do I have to? Can I only do a conspiracy power with my? I don't know if that's the case. So discarding a compromise token to perform an action with an NPC, regain the token to your hand. I don't think that I have to be like it's a thing to note, but I'm pretty sure that the exile.
I'm not sure right now.
Yeah, exile conspiracy on any turn? Question mark. All right, I'm going to assume that is.
I thought it's just whenever you use for compromat for its standard thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Which I'm going to assume that is the case. So I'm going to do that.
My turn.
Well, I still, assuming that I'm going to spend the compromat. And I just want to see what the conscious or compromat token is that moves. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's bad. Yeah, I'll do that one. No, I don't know if I do that. Who can I do something good with? I'm gonna ask. No, I don't have that. Okay, then it's the engineer. Yeah, I'll pass. I don't have anything good to do right now.
Okay, let's.
We just had an update, like a couple hours ago, like a huge update where we had a bunch of new rules, and so this is y'all are guinea pigs on a vast, a quite substantial update. So Peter and I are noticing things for the first time.
Yeah, I use Cyborg. I activate him. I manufacture this X secret data.
All right, so the X secret allows you to see what Project X is. So it's data, and it basically just tells you what's in Vault X. And it's usually some kind of monster or some special thing. It could be like a death ray, it could be like an alien type monster, like a xenomorph. It could be like an impenetrable thing that you can get into to survive. And you can basically see what that is. Now, Project X gets released either by someone with command going to the bridge and releasing Project X, or if the station goes into blackout, it releases Project X.
Or someone with command in the crowd.
Or somebody goes through, and does that.
But actually I cannot see project because I need to be PC.
Oh yeah, that's right. You need to you need to reveal in order to. That's new too. So.
My second action I move.
I don't know that I like it.
I am not sure about this change.
I'm curious why he did that one in particular. Why only PCs can see X secret?
It's all of the places on this blue ring are dark rooms. Is that correct?
No.
No, only rooms with a black background are dark.
Oh, the black background. Gotcha.
Yes. And another thing to note, it doesn't matter for any of these characters. I kind of made it that way on purpose, but the squares are 0 gravity rooms, and the circles are the squares and stars are 0 gravity rooms, and the circles are gravity rooms. And that matters for a variety of things that you don't need to know about right now, because a lot of those things aren't in the game. But it can matter for certain reasons. So, for example, if somebody reveals it's a monkey, they will become 0 born, and they can do 1 free movement in 0 gravity.
Got it.
What I'm liking most about this setup, Peter, is just how much isn't in the game and how much I don't have to teach.
Maybe this is stupid, but if I do put another cube here, do I need to put a second cube there? No, right?
You can?
What, to activate it? You don't need to.
I don't need to. It would just make it such that Andy would need to put another cube in order to activate it.
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I will do that. I'll put a cube, and then where's that silly? And then I think I will take this compromat. As a free action. And then I can move. Or I could manufacture, is that true? Or no, that's the chem lab.
That is not here.
Okay.
Or you can use some system action if you want. But right now you can only put jammers on.
Where is the system action? Is it on the...
So these are the system actions that you can do. So fire suppression and contingency protocol in this game anyway. And you can do system actions either in any room that has this blue symbol, this blue computer symbol, or if you have command, or if you have command, you can do it anywhere.
Got it. Okay, I will turn the jammers back on.
Rude. Just gonna fake the stranger. Pick that up. Just go 1, 2.
Okay, so There's a monkey. There's the monkey. I'm going to suborn the monkey.
It's rude.
You need
Suborning
to.
monkeys is always rude.
You need 2 cubes.
Actually, I'm going to put 2 cubes on them.
And the pink is returned.
Yes, so the way that the monkey works, the monkey is loyal. So you have to put 1 more cube than whoever currently has the monkey as a conspirator. And then that person has to take all the other cubes that are on there and return it back to the player. So the monkey is only loyal to 1 person, and you have to suborn them with more cubes than the previous person. And I'm going to move the monkey 1, 2.
Yes. Just a moment. I use the consoler. That's not my color. I move twice.
Okay.
So a couple other things. At this point, I don't know that you should necessarily be thinking about trying to like disrupt other people from doing things, but I can tell you ways that you can. If it looks like somebody may be interested in an item and you want to prevent them from having that item, you could, suborn that character and have them either throw that item somewhere. So when you throw things, like say somebody has a helmet and you want to attack that person, but they have a helmet, where you can suborn the person that has a helmet. You can tell them to, take off the helmet and throw it, and that's an action, throwing an item. And when you throw an item, you can throw it into any adjacent section. The only restriction is if you are on the rings, you have to throw anti-spinward, right? So these rings are spinning, and if you try to throw something in the direction of the spin, it's going to hit you right back in the face. So you have to throw anti-spinward when you're on the rings. You can also, throw things EBA, and then it goes in the face. There's also an incinerator in this particular game, which will incinerate anything that you put in there. So if you throw an item in the incinerator, then that item is gone. So if you throw the artifact in there, that's bad for the person who wants the artifact.
I think I'll activate the Daredevil. Do 1, 2. And I can pick up the helmet for free, correct?
So yes,
Yes.
one thing about the Daredevil is unique in that they can survive in hazards even without a helmet. So if they can survive in space and in fire and in hazardous gases without a helmet, but a helmet is still useful for them against attacks. So in the actual picture of the Daredevil, you can see that they have like a mask around their neck. It's not quite a helmet, but at least they can survive for in hazardous situations.
And the hazards are written on the board somewhere.
There's only one hazard right now, and that's this gas that is in the magnetic containment. But if you damage, for example, if you damage the fuel cells, that's gonna cause an explosion, which is gonna have fire here and here. If you damage the reactor, that's going to cause gas to go to all the adjacent sections. And if somebody damages the reactor and gas is goes to this section, anyone without a helmet, in this case the stranger, is going to die. So that's one way to kill people. Also, another way to kill people, as I mentioned, is weapons. So I mentioned these weapons, and I mentioned guns. Right now, the only gun is the integral gun that is part of the security bot. But you can manufacture a gun here in the print shop. However, in order to manufacture a gun, you have to have commands. So you can manufacture helmets as anyone. You can manufacture weapons if you're in the chain of command. And you can only manufacture a gun if you are in command. Have a command, act as you have command. Only the top brass can actually 3D print guns.
And you cannot do suicide action with anybody.
Yes, you can't kill yourself. You can't do something that will that will cause that character to kill themselves. At least not in this game.
I'm just going to activate the stranger again for one action. Just move here and take this.
No, my dive suit.
And the dive suit was quite nerfed.
Sorry?
Dive suit allows you to go from the EVA to...
So the way, for everyone else, the benefit of the dive suit is that it allows you to dive back into the earth with just the suit. So the backstory here being that the Daredevil is actually on the station to do a stunt. They are going to put on this dive suit and dive back to earth and body surf back to the mesosphere. So somebody can grab this and do that. Unfortunately, you need both a dive suit and a helmet. And this is a new thing. This is one of the rules that we're trying out now. So this dive suit alone really should have the helmet removed. You still need a helmet in order to survive. All right, so it's back to me. And let me see, do I have any? No, I don't have a thing that would be really helpful right now to have. So,
remove the turn.
Terrible. Okay. Any more compromise? Is there any more compromise, or did we sucked it all up? Or no, there's compromise up here. So I think I'll do that. I'm going to activate the commander, but to do that, I need to suborn the commander. And I'm going to activate the commander. And I'm going to pick up this compromat free. And that is not helpful. So I'm going to do it again. And let's see if that is more helpful. Yes, that's what I want. All right. So I'm going to then use the stranger's compromat to tell the stranger to throw the dive suit. Do I want to get the gun or the weapon and throw the weapon instead? That is the question. Because it can just jack it from me. Yeah, so I'm going to have the stranger throw the weapon to here. Yeah, I'll do that. To there. And that's still very dangerous because it's not that dangerous because the monkey has a helmet. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's my turn. Because I am a revealed exile, I do get this back.
That seems very, very strong.
It's not supposed to be that strong. It's the reason why it looks strong in this case is because compromat is so easy to get now, which is 100% a problem, and I've already noted that.
Yes.
But normally it's not like normally I wouldn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 compromat. The reason why that is because number one, we have the shared room in the game. And that's because of the counselor. And number two, we have this new rule of being able to pick up compromat for free. So all of those three things together have led to a very powerful exile.
And someone to know how to play him.
Yes,
I use
in the hands of somebody that also knows how to put those combinations together, it can lead to a lot of
engineer. I move twice to print shop.
So I can only do this with NPCs, by the way. So if one of you, if people reveal, so for example, if the stranger reveals, I can no longer use the stranger's compromat, or I can no longer take back the stranger's compromat. I mean, it still needs to be nerfed, but just to note that if you don't want me doing things with your character, just reveal, and I won't be able to anymore.
All right.
Cancel.
So how are things, everyone? I haven't really spoken to you all in a while.
Things are good. Busy. Work is busy.
Have you are you? I assume you're. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Are vets considered like pretty front in line for vaccines, or not so much?
Yeah, Lindsay and I both got vaccinated.
Excellent.
So that was good. All right, I'm going to activate the medical. I will. Throw this weapon. Up here. And then I will move over here.
Yes, Lindsay must be protected at all costs. That's a nice step.
Kind of mesh lava. I'll throw one on the Daredevil. And I'm just going to move two. Can you carry duplicates of items?
I'm sorry?
Can you carry duplicates of items?
Yes.
Is there an item limit?
No.
Cool. Might as well just pick that up.
If you wanted to carry all the helmets, you are welcome to do that. The monkey actually had 10 items in one game. And
Actually,
there was
you can
an
use
epic...
free move to the Eva if you want.
Sorry?
You can get
so
free move to the
one
hazard.
of the benefits... Yeah, one of the benefits of the Daredevil is that they can move to and through hazards for free. So if there's for example, if you are, let's say that you're here and there is, where is the fire? Oh, there it is. And there is a fire here. The Daredevil can move here for free because there's a hazard there. And then there is an action, right? So what Peter's saying is that because space is a hazard, you could theoretically move into space as a free action.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that then.
They move faster through hazard, which is a benefit of the Daredevil. They're very, very big on adrenaline rushes. Okay, so what am I doing? I am sad that that weapon is no longer near me. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna tell the stranger to throw its dive suit here. And then I'm gonna have the monkey pick it up. And then the monkey is going to move here as an action and EVA as a second action. Peter, I feel like future games, if we have, I probably shouldn't have. No, because we have a 4-player game. In future games, I'm definitely going to not play. And then I can observe people's cards, I think, and I can probably teach better.
Yes. And I probably put one less character in setup, but I think it's not a problem. I think it should be 13 for 4-player. But
It normally is. And normally you do put a mole in there, or an alien or a mole in there. We're just not doing it in the starting game. So I guess because of that, we should put another character in there. The issue is that there aren't that many other characters that I would want to put in there for a starting setup.
no, for starting it's okay, I think.
I guess the consort.
Yeah, my turn, I forgot. I use Consular, I move to the security room.
The only issue with the consort is that its conspiracy power can. I can see it really annoying a first-time player. Just swapping, you think something's a thing, and then they swap roles,
And I
and they're
turn
like,
off
well,
cameras.
uh-oh, it's murder time.
What happened?
The cameras got turned off.
Oh,
It used to be a lot easier to turn off cameras. This is a new rule where we're making it so the cameras can only be turned off in this section, with hopes that will make it harder for people to just turn it off immediately and not have to worry about the suspect rule.
I think it probably can work this way, but let's see. So right now killing someone with weapon in lit section is no problem.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the suspect rule at all right now for killing people.
and you need to possess a weapon to kill somebody.
Yes.
Like the character.
You need to have a weapon, and they don't. If you have a weapon and they don't have a helmet, you can kill them. If you have a gun, you can kill them regardless.
Got it.
And obviously,
But
robots
it's
don't
up to you
wear
if
helmets.
you
So
want to kill someone or no.
All right.
remember, don't be afraid to reveal. If conspiracy powers are pretty good. Normally, people reveal, like, as mentioned by Pizen in this tip, it's usually later in the game, but, I revealed early just because my ability was really strong. The downside is that now you see what I want. So, for example, you know that I'm going to get 3 points if the evidence does not make it to the news, so you could try to make sure that the evidence makes it to the news.
Right.
So how do you send something to somewhere? There's the rear array and the front array. These are places that you can go to send data to any of these offsites. You can say, I want to send it to the authorities, the company, or the news. Another way is if you have data and you survived, you can send that data to any of these offsites. And I will describe how you survive a little, in a bit. The short of it is abandoned ship needs to be declared, and then you need to get in an escape pod or use the dive suit.
Okay. I guess I'll reveal just because.
Okay.
Why not? So I'm going to reveal the commander.
All right then.
No,
So,
don't spoil my plan.
Every turn that you activate the commander, you can take a free action with a single NPC in your section at the start of your activation.
So that
Or an NPC anywhere in the chain of command. So that sucks for me.
put your marble on the character.
But it sucks for me, but I did get like a good amount of compromat with the commander. So
Well, I was mostly worried about my cubes going to the betrayal box if you had the compromat commander. Or the commander
do.
compromat, I guess.
I do, but my compromat, my cubes go, they go to the betrayal box too.
Right, but
So
what do
it
you,
would have hurt me as much as you.
okay.
I considered it. I considered it, but
Okay, and so I can take a free action with a single NPC in my
Mhm.
section. That just
or
means
anyone in the chain of command. So you can do a single action with this person, and this person, or anyone
But
that
it
is in the same room as you.
but it has to be at the start of my
No, it can be
turn.
at any time during your
Sorry,
turn.
activation. During activation.
Every time you activate the commander. So when you activate the commander, you can do that.
Okay. I will take an action with the counselor, who's in the chain of command, correct?
You put your
Okay,
dice
so-
on commander first.
Are you
Yeah.
activating the commander?
Yeah. Do I still have
You
to
don't
put
have
a
to
Q on
subordinate.
it or no?
No. Once you reveal, you don't have to subordinate.
Okay, great. So I'm going to activate the commander.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take a free action with the counselor. I'll turn
Right.
the cameras back on.
Done.
And then I can take 2 actions with the commander.
Indeed.
The shred room just lets me get compromat off the board,
Yes,
which is
but-
all gone.
All gone.
And it has no other ability that room.
Nope. It's a pretty good ability
so-
as is.
Why don't we move out of this place?
Probably a good idea.
What is this
Your
symbol on the
goal is
storage?
to
That just means that a
save
weapon goes
everybody
there at the
else.
start of the game.
What were you
So
saying, Pizen?
your goal is to save everybody else on the station.
Mm-hmm.
So you have commands, so you can move to the bridge to.
Yeah, and then now's a good time to explain how surviving works. So you survive, as I mentioned, if you get off the station. You can get off the station with a dive suit or with these pods right here. So these 4 pods down here can be launched, but only after abandoned ship has been declared. So abandoned ship will be automatically declared on the last turn of the game. You can declare abandoned ship earlier, but you have to be at the bridge and do a command action, a bridge action, which only somebody in command can do, and to declare abandoned ship. At that point, these ships can be launched. There's 2 ways to launch a ship. You can either launch them from inside or from an adjacent section. If you launch them from inside, you say, as an action, I want to activate the launch sequence. And then you're going to take a time disk, which is really just a disk of your color, and you're going to put it there. And that just means that at the end of your next turn, this is going to launch. That's what a time disk means. Alternatively, you can have somebody that is in an adjacent section launch you, and that can be done immediately. So you can say bribe the counselor to launch you on the same turn that you get into the escape pod, and then that launches you. There is also this escape pod up here that is a medevac pod. The medevac pod does not require abandoned ship. All it requires is a dead person to be in it, and you can launch the same way. Either activate the launch sequence or have somebody launch you from the tube. So one way to escape early is to just kill somebody, move them into the medevac pod, and activate the launch sequence. So those are the 2 ways in this game that you can survive, escape the station.
Okay.
So you want to basically move a bunch of move a bunch of people to the escape pods to have them escape, and you get points for that. And you also want to make sure that somebody doesn't inadvertently, cause you to get launched, which hasn't happened really ever since we removed the commander's escape pod. But that used to be pretty fun, where this The bridge actions here, that used to be an escape pod. So when the commander was here, like doing stuff, somebody else could just say, "I'm gonna launch the escape pod," and then the commander just goes into the mesosphere, and they're like, "No."
Okay, so to get to the bridge, it's really kind of a straight shot up.
Yep.
Essentially. So I can take 2 move actions to get into the rear hub.
Yeah. If you had a helmet, you could go EVA here and then end up here and then go there and do a shortcut. But you don't have a helmet, so yes, it's going to be a long walk to the bridge. There is another way to declare abandoned ship, and that is by arming the antimatter, or by plunging the station into blackout. So these little lightning bolts in the different rooms, those are they power the station. If you damage any of these, bad things are going to happen. Number one, here in the fuel cells, fire is going to start in the adjacent section, and here in the reactor, gas is going to go to the adjacent sections. And when you damage a power section, that's going to plunge the station one down. So if you damage one section, that'll move us into backup power, and backup power means that the cameras and the jammers turn off, and they can't be turned back on. And if another section is damaged, if 2 sections are damaged, then the station goes into blackout, and that means that abandoned ship is declared, Project X is released, and these locks can only be removed manually. So they're all listed here if you want to see how that works. But yeah, those are more ways that you can declare abandoned ship. You don't necessarily have to be the commander going to the bridge. If you remove the antimatter leaves magnetic containment. That's both going to also declare abandoned ship, but it means that it's gonna, whoever did that is gonna place a time disk 5 turns in the future, and in 5 turns, that antimatter is going to blow up. If it blows up in the station, everyone dies. If it blows up in space, anyone in EVA dies, and it damages the escape pods and EVA ports. If it blows up in an escape pod, it damages the escape pod.
Cool.
Lots of different ways to do things in this game. I'm trying to limit how much I tell you, but lots of different ways to do things.
Yeah. Anyway, I've just activated security. So Bill and activate security, went to my main frame, and I'm going to turn jammers off.
Excellent. I guess I just do that, huh? Yeah, there's no point in not doing that. So the monkey is gonna say, it's gonna salute the daredevil and head back to Earth. Body surf back to Earth. So that's it for the monkey.
It's not really any way I can really stop that anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. And I could do more things. So let me see what I would want to do here. Daredevil has a bunch of stuff that I don't really care about. I think I probably want to save that, so I'm not going to do that one. So I want to. Here's the thing, Nav. I want people with the compromat that I have to survive. So I also want people to survive. So we essentially can work together to make sure that people survive. So now I'm thinking, like, what can I do to help people survive? And I think I don't necessarily want to do that, but hey, where's my string? Oh yeah, this goes back to me. looks like. Where's my stranger compromat? Because that's one that I do want. The stranger's over there. So I'm going to...
Can you get the commander a helmet?
No, I'm gonna activate the stranger. And I'm gonna move this stranger. Yeah, there isn't a lot of death happening, so I don't really need to like save anything. So I'm just gonna move the stranger over here. Because the stranger also has command, so if something happens to the commander, at least somebody else can try to do things.
Does
Alright.
he?
The stranger. Sorry, no, my apologies. That's the exile that has. Perfectly correct there. In that, I am wrong. So do I? Yeah, I won't do anything then. See, all of this compromat in this action isn't really that strong. Okay.
So I activate the cyborg. I pick the weapon for free.
We have a fugitive with a weapon.
Yeah, for first I reveal as the stowaway. So I get the helmet. That's my conspiracy power.
Give stowaway or one of your conspirators a helmet or nanoman.
Then I activate the cyborg. I move to forward array, and I send the
You don't have evidence.
I send the
Oh, the X secret. No.
secret to the news. So,
All right.
so everyone can see the evils that commander.
Everyone knows what's in Project X except us. Basically.
Sorry, can you explain what just happened?
All right. So Peter revealed as the stowaway. So the stowaway's victory conditions is that they want to survive, and they want the news to possess the X secret data and the evidence, and if no other character survives with the evidence. So what he did was he had the X secret data already. So the test subject had it. So what he did was that he moved the test subject into the forward array, and then he beamed the X secret data to the news, meeting his victory condition and getting the 2 points that he needed to do that. So if the news has the X secret data, he gets 2 points. So that's what he did. He moved the character that had the X secret data to beam it to the news.
All right. What do I want to do?
So that is being disseminated back on Earth, but none of us still know what is in that vault.
And if I were to activate the commander again, it would still be just one action.
Yes.
My
Yes.
disc is on there, even though okay.
It's usually better switch characters.
Yeah.
Remember that you also have a bonus character. So you should be concerning yourself with doing whatever you need to do with the bonus character as well.
Right.
You could probably guess who my bonus character was.
Yes. Yes, we can. All right, I will activate. Um, I think I'll activate the engineer. Actually, no, we're not going to activate the engineer. We'll activate the counselor. This means it's locked, this path, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
What is-
you cannot go through.
Only somebody with command can walk through that lock.
Actually, you can switch off cameras and use the contingency protocol to move the command, but the command right now goes to the engineer if you will do it.
And then in other versions of the game, there's other ways to do things, but I'm not going to discuss that.
All right, so to move the counselor, we will go 1, 2.
Trade strange and go 1, 2, pick up weapon.
That's not the direction that I need that to go in. All right. Okay, so I need to get a thing. And I just realized that I need to get a thing. I should have been working towards that. And I do not have their. All right, so. Cool. I'm going to suborn the. Where are all my cubes? Oh, they're all on the stupid monkey. I always do that.
I'll be right back.
Put my cubes. I always put my cubes on the monkey, and then I where are my cubes? Oh, they're on the monkey. So I'm going to see born the troubleshooter, and the troubleshooter is going to. Sorry, I'm going to activate the troubleshooter. The troubleshooter is going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to use the troubleshooter's compromat to go there.
Change my plan. So I use my stowaway. My first action is to move to any dark room. I go
So stowaway starts off the station, And as the first action, when you activate the stowaway, they can move to any dark section on the station. And they're essentially boarding the ship. And Beeson is chosen to go to the tanks
I go here and I pick the weapon.
and grab a weapon. Not ominous at all.
I will activate the commander. I will take an action with the counselor. And move them here.
Hey, Justin.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going? A lot of so we're testing the you can pick up Compromet as a free pickup action, and it's incredibly powerful, particularly for the exile. I mean, we're testing a lot of things. That's the one note that I've noticed in this game.
I'm actually going to activate the engineer with my commander's ability and manufacture a helmet.
Okay, so that helmet immediately goes on the engineer. When you manufacture it, you essentially pick up the item as in the same turn, in the same action.
Okay. And then with the commander, I will move here.
Interesting.
And I'm worried that Stowaway's up to no good.
I mean, the stowaway can't, without a bribe, the stowaway can't attack you if you're here.
If I'm where?
If you're here, yeah, they can attack you next turn. But if you're here,
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to activate the Stranger
Oh.
again and move there.
All right.
Yeah. Move the turn.
Okay. I'm going to do the troubleshooter's compromise again. And we lost Pyro. And print the evidence. And then I will activate the troubleshooter again to send that evidence to the exile.
That was quite not surprising. I also activate troubleshooter.
Hey, that's my troubleshooter.
I sent evidence to Cyborg.
No.
And I use Cyborg
No.
Compro to send evidence
No.
to the news.
No. All right. So what happened here was that I wanted the evidence. I wanted the exile to have the evidence and the news to not have it. What Peter did was that he made sure that the news had the evidence so that I could not gain those 3 points. So he
Actually,
basically
I
just
did
made me
not
lose 3
do
points.
because you, but because of my goal.
Oh,
Hello?
so yeah, Pero, we hear you, but you're obviously not in the.
Yeah, my internet died. Sorry about that.
So not only did he make me lose 3 points, but he also gained 2 points. So that's a 5-point swing with 1 turn.
What happened? What I miss?
So I wanted the evidence, and I wanted to make sure that the news does not have the evidence. So I went with a troubleshooter to manufacture the evidence, and then I zapped it to the exile.
Okay.
And then on Peter's turn, he took the troubleshooter who now had the evidence, and he sent it to the test subject who was already in this array, and the test subject sent the evidence to the news. Because the test subject is a snitch. It just keeps leaking classified information. And that both made him get 2 points and made me lose 3 points.
Wait, so how did he activate 2 things in 1 turn? Did he use a bribe or a compliment? Use a compliment, okay.
Ooh. Yes.
Okay.
You mean me? Yes, I use a compromat to do that.
Oh, you used a compromat to do that?
Yeah,
I use a compromat to create the evidence. Yes, and he also did that, yes. So I used the compromat
Okay,
to
yeah, that's what
manufacture and send it to the exile, and then he used the compromat to,
I was just trying to work out how activating
sure, yeah.
2 things
So,
in 1 turn
but once you
if
get
you
more
both had the
experience at
compromat,
this- Right. Once you get more experience at this game, you start to see what other people are trying to do, and you are trying to figure out how to stop them. And it becomes very much like, like a problem-solving thing of like, how can I, what are the things that I need to do to stop this from happening, or to actually do this in the amount of time that I have.
And the reason he could send the evidence is because the jammers are off, so they can go anywhere on the board.
Yes. I mean, even with the jammers on, you can still send stuff through the arrays. But the reason he was able to zap it from one character to another is because the jammers were off. Yes.
I'm helping.
I also have
turn those
one
off for you.
I have one goal to be only character that survive with evidence, but I assume that is not happening this game, so it's better for me do it this way.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that he's going to get 3 VP because the evidence can just go everywhere. But that's still 2 points is 2 points. So the average score in this game is between 8 and 10. Average winning score, I mean, is between 8 and 10. So 2 points is substantial.
Alright, I will move here the engineer. I will throw the helmet to the commander.
You will throw to on the ground.
That goes to the ground.
Well, if you drop it, it goes to the ground. If you throw it, it goes wherever you throw it.
Yeah. And then
So if you want to throw it, if you want to prevent somebody from just being able to, well, I mean, no one's gonna suborn you, so it doesn't matter.
And
But
you
if you want to
use
like stop somebody from picking it up as a free action, you just throw it to another room, and then they have to spend an action going there and picking it up.
and put the R cube on the engineer to do it.
yes.
So 2 cubes on the monkey and 2 cubes in the betrayal box. This is turning out like last game where I'm just wasting cubes on this. I used to be so conservative with my cubes.
Yeah, fuck it. Going original. Up.
You're doing what now?
I'm just activating Stranger again and just moving 2 up.
You
Okay.
move only once. You
Stranger can do it twice.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're uncanny.
That's how I've been moving twice every single time.
Yep.
So I don't need to waste cubes. I could just use the same guy.
Yep. And then there's other ways to do that. If the telepathic rat is in the game, you can kind of do that as well. But
I am not in competition. It's got a one-track mind here.
And the stranger can do anything on the bridge because he does not have command right now.
Details.
He can damage the bridge, maybe, but
He could. Maybe I'm not going to a bridge.
it's up to.
okay, what do I want to do? So that was a waste of a few turns. So now I just need all of these people to survive. So let's do that. Let's get
Bringing them to the pods.
Yep. Let us the engineer does not have a weapon. Troubleshooter does have a weapon. So where's the troubleshooter? They're still all the way down there, right? Okay.
Andy, was the study in Emerald a little bit of inspiration for this?
I don't know that Matt has even played a study in Emerald. Though I have mentioned that as I've mentioned it in like development discussions, but I don't think that he has even played it. The Eklunds don't play a lot of other people's games. In any case, I am going to activate. Man, but I don't want to spend more cubes. But I don't have cubes on that many. I only have cubes on 2 things, which is really unfortunate. Even though, yeah. All right, I guess I'm doing that. There, and I'm going to activate the medical bot, and I'm going to move the medical bot 1, And then I'm going to use my medical bot compromat to move there.
Okay, I activate. Stå away. I move twice.
I mean, there was some very minor inspiration from Last Frontier: The Artifact, which is a game that Phil and Matt did together in 2001. But really more thematically than mechanically. Mechanically, I don't know that there was any influence from any game. Maybe more video games than board games, because I know Matt plays video games and he gets like Kriegbot was inspired by an old video game. But for the most part, yeah, the Eklunds don't really get inspired by other people.
I'm going to use this stowaway compromat.
All right. So the way that this works is because that stowaway is a revealed character, Peter can either do what you want him to do, or he becomes a suspect. So tell him to do something, and he's going to either do it or refuse.
I would like you to throw your weapon to the tanks, please.
No, I will be suspect.
All right, Peter's a suspect. So now what happens is if the evidence gets sent to the authorities, Peter becomes guilty and he cannot win. And a lot of folks have evidence.
How do we get the evidence to the authorities?
You send it through the arrays, or if you survive with it at the end of the game. But sending it through the arrays is really probably what you want to do.
No, surviving does not make guilty.
Oh, you can't make somebody guilty. That's right. No, you can only redeem that way. So yeah, it's sending it through the arrays. And the jammers are off, so we can send the evidence to even more people.
Yep.
So the suspect guilty rule we added, and we played like half a dozen games, and no one ever did anything. So we added this rule to try to make it happen more, and so far every game that we've played has had a suspect now. So I really like the new compromise suspect rule. That's probably my favorite addition in a while.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
I mean, I could just take the test subject and just send it to the authorities
Yes.
if he has the evidence.
100%. You can do that right now.
I think that's what I'll do.
I am 100% on board with that.
Although I don't have many cubes left.
You would have to put a cube on the test subject. Yes.
I know. Where is there another array?
There's an array here and here. Those are the two arrays. You could bribe the test subject, and then you don't have to spend any cubes. But if you bribe the test subject, that's the point that you lose.
I mean, the other thing
If you have the test subject compromat, you can do that as well. But I don't know that you do. Actually, in fact, you don't, because it's right here.
It also what else could I do?
You
Yeah, I
should,
think I'll
you
just.
should save people, not doing some.
Well, I worry you're going to
No,
come and do some harm.
I think now that sending the evidence out and then destroying the array is a fabulous action. Like that's
How-
a great turn right there.
How does one destroy the array?
Well, the test subject has a weapon, so they can just destroy the array. So as an action, you can sabotage a section.
That sounds fun, so we're going to do that.
I agree. So the evidence is sent to the authorities.
Oh, use copy.
Yes, you're right. Sorry. The evidence is sent to the authorities. Peter is now the first guilty person in the history of Stationfall, and you damage the array, and you can do other things with bribes or compromise if you want, but otherwise that is a fantastic turn. My favorite turn so far in this game.
I might not win, but I'll tell a good story.
This is you've pleased me greatly to see Peter be the first guilty person in the history of Stationfall.
I mean, he shouldn't have refused to throw his weapon.
I agree. That's that's what happens when he refused. He should have been aware of the consequences.
I mean, in all seriousness, he could have just done it and just picked it up immediately.
But I
Well, he would have
need
had to
to
move back
activate.
and then come back.
Yeah, but he wants to move over here as well. I know what he's trying to do. That's why I'm going to activate the Daredevil and move here, and I'm going to give my helmet, one of the Daredevil's helmets, to the stranger.
Okay.
Let's make my plan.
Remember that the Daredevil can do a free move into a hazard, so
I know.
want to remove EVA. Okay. Okay, so back to me.
We might be angling for a similar prize here.
Sure, yeah. One of you wants to kill somebody and then go into the medevac pod. I get it. I'm okay with that. I want people to survive, so I will allow that to happen.
Is there a maximum of 2 people in the escape pods? Is that why there's 2?
Yes. Mm-hmm. For the escape pods that are in this game, all of them have a max 2 occupancy.
I'm getting a real Titanic impression from this space station.
Yeah.
Of just not enough escape pods.
Correct.
Goddamn budgets.
They're there for show mainly. Okay, so I'm just so damn pleased with what has happened. I'm gonna activate the engineer, and the engineer is going to go here, pick up that helmet, and then go into the forward hub.
Yes, move turn.
Sorry, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna take my engineer compromat and move the engineer down. I think that it should probably be only when you do the exile. I'm gonna ask Matt.
Yeah, that's maybe. But on the commander, it says when you activate commander.
Yeah, I know that's what it. I know that it doesn't say that, but I'm gonna ask Matt if that's how it was intended. If not, I think that's how it should be intended.
And the border has similar ability. So I activate stow away. I bribe Daredevil to give me helmet. And I kill him. Because he's jerk. messing with my plans.
It's a she, by the way. Which is tell by her.
And
The
I
Daredevil
am,
looks really cool.
and I am suspect. Yes.
I mean, you're guilty right now.
But it make me suspect.
No. You do not become you do not go back to a suspect if you're already guilty. Not a thing.
I love that impression of just a murderer. It's just quite happy there going, but I murdered someone else, so you got to start the investigation again.
Yeah. That's it's very creative, Peter, but not so much.
The Daredevil can't use his nanomeds to revive himself, huh?
The Daredevil cannot use her nanomeds. The Daredevil is dead on the ground
Glomsy.
with
Sorry.
with the nanomeds on them.
Glomsy, you want as many
Can
people
I-
to survive
can-
as possible, right?
Can I do
Correct.
one more thing?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's fine if you have the action to do so.
I picked the nanomeds.
But isn't that 2 actions, though?
It's free action.
But you already had a disc on the stowaway, so you could...
Yes, the picking is free action.
Oh, do they drop their items when they're downed?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear that. Apologies.
When
Sorry.
they're dead, they no longer have the item. The item is just on the ground. They drop the item when they, dropped themselves.
Okay. Glomsy, if you want as many people to survive as possible, just trust me that the Daredevil will be okay.
I will trust you.
Very brave,
I'm just-
but thank you.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to... Is it even worth trying to get to the bridge at this point?
No.
The stowaway.
Stowaway's
can
gonna-
get. Yeah, the stowaway can get to the in one turn. The stowaway can go here and activate abandoned ship. And Peter is a stowaway, so I don't know that he necessarily wants to do that. Yeah, I have no character other than So actually, yeah, maybe he does. I don't know.
You can bribe me.
You can maybe bribe. You can bribe Peter to to go up there.
I thought that he can't... He doesn't have command.
Yes,
Peter has a hacker ability, and the jammers
yeah.
are off. So Peter, Peter does have acts as if they have command. Which is funny because the stowaway is like Newt in Aliens, so it's a little girl. So I'm just imagining a little girl with her command access doing things.
So little girls go around beating people up.
Yes.
Does the stowaway count as having command for the commander's ability?
The
For
commander
forceful
has command, yes.
No, but for forceful presence, if the jammers are
No.
off,
No,
do hackers count as?
no.
No. You have to be in the chain of command, so they have to work for the commander, essentially.
And the bribe action is just one action, or let's you
Yes,
take
it's
2
one action. It's one action, so you wouldn't be able to do it a bribe won't do it alone.
Very true.
Oh, and you spent this already.
Yeah.
So normally I would say, you can tell the stowaway to go up there as one action and then bribe them as a second action, but that didn't happen.
I could.
You caused your own guilt, Peter. If you hadn't had this, the test subject with the evidence at the array, people wouldn't know about the terrible things that you've done.
I mean, I could bribe him to go up there, and then.
Yeah, but remember that a bribe is a point for you. So, you'd be losing a point with no guarantee that it will help.
And the abandon ship will trigger
we have
automatically in...
our goals are kind of aligned, Nob. So I'll work with you to make sure that as many people survive as possible.
Yeah, I'm just
what
trying
we
to
do want,
conceptualize,
what we
like,
do
how,
want,
how
so
to get people to survive is trying to get people to escape.
sure. So you need to get people to the escape pods. Yes, that's 100% the case. And one thing that I didn't mention is that if you are in the bridge and you have command and you activate abandoned ship, that activates the pods, right? If you activate abandoned ship again, it will launch any pods with people in them. So I mentioned before how you can launch somebody if they're in an adjacent section. You can also launch them if you are in the bridge and you activate abandoned ship and the abandoned ship is already activated. It'll launch any pods with people on them. So as one action, if we get like a bunch of people to the escape pods and then someone with command is here and they just press the button, you can launch like a ton of people. But you have to make sure that they go, that they get into the pods first. So we need to basically be working together to get as many people into the pods as possible.
Yes, but you see, my problem is that the stowaway is right
There are
here.
other people that can have command. I mean, the commander can have command, and that's you. So maybe you should be working your way to the bridge.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to the bridge, but someone has a weapon, and I don't have a helmet because someone took the helmet that I put here for myself to take. That's someone with you.
I can help you out there. The stranger has a helmet, and I have the stranger compromat. So
I have
don't
better
think
plan
for
for
Stowaway.
You can move here to the Cryo Lab.
And I don't think the stowaway's gonna. I think the stowaway's probably gonna be gone before that happens.
Yeah, Stowaway wants to be gone.
You can release Project X with your commander, and it will.
This is also true. If you release Project X, that will.
Then the abandoned ship will trigger.
Yeah, that will activate abandoned ship. The problem with that is it also releases Project X. So the thinking is, I need to get people off the station. I know I will release Project X, which may kill everyone on board. So,
that sounds more fun, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate the commander.
Cool.
And she will take an action. She will
move here.
Well, first she's going to move somewhere in the chain of command.
Okay.
Move
closer to the escape pods, I hope.
Closer to the escape pods.
Although I don't care about that person. I don't have compromise for that person, so that person can die for all I care.
And then this person, I will use the compromat for the counselor to move the counselor here.
Yes.
And then the commander moves and then activates Project X, whatever Project X.
Remote control murder drones.
Nice.
So we get the swarm, and the swarm is in the vault. We removed that. So the remote control murder drones has tunnel rat and jury rig. The swarm is a drone that is immune to attack. If attacked by EMP, so EMP is not in this game, so don't worry about it. A system action can move or act with the swarm. There is no witness penalty for attacking with the swarm. The swarm has jury rig and tunnel rat. So essentially, this is a character now, and you can, as a system action, move the swarm and attack people with it, as if they have a gun. So even helmets won't protect you. So that means the troubleshooter, because they're here, and anyone in command can do a system action to the swarm, to do actions with the swarm. So for example, somebody could say, okay, as a system action, I'm going to move the swarm here, and as a second system action, I'm going to kill the commander.
And system actions you can do if you're in one of those sections or you have command.
Correct. you just open a Pandora's box. It's not as bad as it could be. Like if it was a xenomorph, they would just be killing everyone every turn.
I'm just gonna activate the stranger, drag the
There
daredevil
you
into
go.
the pod, launch pod.
You're going to activate the launch sequence.
Okay. Oh, it's end of next turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do
I
that.
have a
How
backup.
did you move both?
Because there's David
can
down,
drag-
you can drag.
Yeah. So you can drag dead bodies one space.
As one action.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot this.
So one thing that you could do, by the way, Pyro, if you really want to make sure that you get off the station, is you can bribe the
He's
stowaway.
not going to accept it.
I mean, it's a point for him because he gets a bribe. So you can say, hey, if I bribe you to press the button and launch me, and if he doesn't accept it, you keep your bribe.
That is a great point. You know what? For the sake of it, shall we attempt it? Here's a bribe. Will you send us on our merry way?
Okay.
Is that a yes, Peter?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
It is.
Oh.
It is locked.
Hang on.
Let me.
Oh no.
Sorry, I'm trying to move it back.
I mean, although it, I don't think it's going to go far back enough.
Yeah. The downside to that is you lost a point by bribing him, and it may be it's I don't know how likely it is that you're not going to be able to do that next turn, but that's
I mean,
entirely up to you.
The thing is, I don't know. The only way he can stop is if he has a compromat, right? But actually, that's a serious question. Is there duplicates of compromats?
No.
No. Oh, then don't worry about it.
Okay. Then
I
take
can wait
your
a turn. I can wait a turn. Because no one can get in that pod right now. It's full.
No.
correct.
Yeah. So I don't think.
Here's the one thing that I would say about Stationfall: don't assume that that things are going to go according to plan. There have been. No, I'm not saying do it, but I'm saying there have been many times when I thought where I've been sitting on an escape pod, and I'm like, okay, next turn I'm just going to launch and I'm done, and mayhem ensues. So just in this case, you're pretty safe, but in general, I will always do the thing to make sure to guarantee that I'm off the station, because you never know.
Here's the thing: the only way that can really be not happen is if a compromat is played, right? Which
if somebody bribes, anyone can bribe the stranger to make them leave.
But right now, only you and Glomzig have a bribe, and you want as many people off as possible, and this helps. So there's no reason to bribe it.
As I said, I think that you're relatively safe, but making assumptions in this game is very dangerous.
I'm just voicing out my thoughts, right?
Sure.
This is like a hypothetical exercise. If you don't mind me, just kind of running through
all of the information that you have is correct.
Okay, and then if the only way can be dealt with is either a compromat or Paizen can just go and activate the stranger for himself, which I have enough cubes that I could just do it again next turn, move back in, and so I think I'm okay. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm just making sure I haven't overlooked.
All right.
If I
all of that is correct. Yes.
If I will have my bribe unused, I can exchange to the pod. But it is not possible right now.
Yeah, that's why I was also quite comfortable with this, because I know you don't have your bribe.
I'd say there is an 80% chance you're fine, but that's an 80% chance.
Yeah, obviously. Fuck it, I'll risk it.
I've had situations where I'm like, okay, all I need is for this person to, and even then, I've had situations where I'm in the mesosphere, and
Yeah.
then the Project X is the death ray, and the death ray allows you to kill people that are in the mesosphere. So I've had situations where I'm like, great, I have, I'm gone,
Right.
I have 11 points, I'm set, and then the death ray shows up and kills me, and I have like -1 point.
I
So-
have a backup plan regardless, so
Yeah.
we'll go with it. Let's try it.
Okay, so back to
I want
me.
to keep my money.
Sure. No, it's perfectly valid. I am going to activate the. I really need to start taking my cubes back. But I'm going to activate the medical bot. No, I'm going to activate the. Who was this on? I think it was here. Was it the troubleshooter?
I think
I
so.
don't remember.
I think you can also rewind.
I
I
can,
think it
but
was a troubleshooter.
Yeah, I think it was trouble because you sent the evidence to yourself, didn't you?
yeah. Yeah, I think so. All right, so I'm going to activate the engineer. No, it was the engineer because I moved. I was on the engineer because I remember I moved the engineer down and I used the engineer complement. So that's where it was. Still, I'm going to activate the engineer anyway. And I would like to save people that are not in the chain of command so I don't give Nav points, but it is what it is. Fact. The engineer does not have. The engineer can't damage the section. As an action, can repair a damaged section, but cannot damage a section. I would love for them to damage the array. Yeah, I will move the medical bot. To this escape pod. And they don't have a weapon, so they're good. No, I'm not going to do that. I know what I'm going to do. My apologies. I'm going to activate the engineer. And the engineer is going to move here. And then with my compromat, I'm going to move the
Can he move there?
bot into here.
Move through this?
You're right. I cannot move through there with the engineer. That is 100% correct. I keep doing that. Okay.
And what do you activate? Engineer?
I activated the engineer.
And how can the medical move?
I used my medical bot compromat.
Use the... What you show the
This
engineer? Yes, right. Okay, I activate troubleshooter. I sent evidence to myself. So can you copy some evidence? Can you make more evidence?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And with system action, I move the command around.
Hmm.
And you should change.
How is the stowaway gonna get off? Like, I would be concerned about the. go with having the evidence, but you need to get off the station.
Easy
And-
one
and,
round to
and you
EVA,
should
second round to
change
that-
the
to that.
turn order because
Yeah, I
it's
guess
messed. What?
Sorry, Peter, you're saying?
Change the turn order. I am the second.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that happened. Let me.
Because Pyromaniac was disconnected.
So we move that to there. No, you were. Yeah, you were second. You're second, so you're after me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. I will act with the counselor. Here. And then I will move to the bio lab.
Oh, sublime for test subject. I think. Yeah, we're just going to move 1, 2. All right, and then
And the
end of my turn for pod launches, right?
Yes.
And you need to make the obligatory pod launching noise.
I really can't today.
Okay.
And the Daredevil revives.
My throat is
I'm doing it
shredded.
for you.
And we are on the turn 2.
It's just people swearing because they wasn't expecting it so sudden.
Okay, so
So the Daredevil is rescued after all.
He is. After all that.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with everything that's going on right now.
So can you be killed on Stationfall or just downed?
I'm not sure what the question is.
There is no
Like-
permanent that you can be
Just
revived.
what?
So
You make
at
it
Station Fall, everyone that is still on the station is dead, but it doesn't count for grudges or anything. If that's what you're asking.
But if you're downed on the ship, if you escape or you're dragged out, you survive.
No, you need to in order to survive, you need to either be in the or some other situation. But for almost every case, if you're not in the mesosphere, you have not survived. With like some
Right,
rare
my
exceptions.
question was, Daredevil was like this, flipped over, because he was
Right.
attacked.
Yes, but
Oh,
the
well,
medic.
the Daredevil was in the medevac pod, so the medevac pod revived him.
Got it. Okay.
Revived her. Okay, so
And it's only pod that has this ability.
Got it. Thank you.
yeah, I guess I activate the engineer again, and I use my engineer compromat again, and I move them there. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. My apologies. I really should have put 2 people in the same pod. That is a mistake on my part. And the troubleshooter is over there. All right, I'm gonna do something stupid, but no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to activate instead the medical bot, and the medical bot is gonna move there for 1 action, there for another action, and then I'm gonna use my compromat to have the engineer launch this pod. And now that's my turn.
Yeah, I use stowaway and I move here. And it's probably too late.
So you could move the engineer to a pod and then try to ask Peter if he wants to bribe if you can bribe him to launch you, or launch the engineer. I don't know that Peter will do that, but it's worth asking. So you're activating the commander to move the engineer here.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Yes, that's what I'm doing.
And then do you want to maybe like activate the counselor? Or no, you can't do that.
I
Sorry.
can't do that. I'm going to move the commander here. Going to move this swarm here.
Okay. Always smart idea. Did you want to bribe the stowaway to launch the engineer?
No, I feel like he's going to come into an escape pod and then we can go away together.
Yes, but if the stowaway escapes, they're going to get a bunch of points. So you don't necessarily want the stowaway.
He's guilty though.
He can't win.
Not the case. The stowaway has evidence.
Yes. And
So if the stowaway escapes with the evidence, then they can redeem themselves because they have evidence that clears their name.
Okay.
I thought he has to deliver it to the authorities.
Yes. At the end of the game, if you have data, you can send that data to any of these offsites.
Right.
Got it.
Cool.
Got it.
So you definitely don't want the stowaway to escape.
That's a good plan. Don't mess.
But so you're suggesting I give him, but then he can just go into a pod anyway.
Yes,
he
but
can
it's
try.
probably maybe too late.
Why too late?
I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. I mean, I could try to sabotage that pod with the test subject, or I can try to, there is a number of things that can happen between now and then.
Sure. This is what I'm going to do.
Oh, you still going? Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to activate security to do 2 system actions. Let's go 1, 2.
No. Nice.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent work. I think that I shall follow your lead here. And who else can do system actions? The engineer, right?
The counselor?
No, the troubleshooter. The troubleshooter can do system actions. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate the troubleshooter, and the troubleshooter is going to move the bot swarm here and kill the stowaway.
No.
Excellent work, team.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
I was actually gunning for the Exile first because I think the Exile's going to win this.
The exile's gone.
I know, which is why
Oh, yeah.
the whole test subject thing is, and I remember what's one thing. But so first target's gone. Might as well go for the second.
So this is the last turn. Is that true?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it goes another turn.
Got it.
I'm going to have the engineer activate the launch sequence.
There is no chance for me. So let's mess with you.
You're in a terrible state. You're good. I love it. Oh.
You did that with your
with my I haven't been putting them out because it's just like it's a pain in the ass to put it out and put it back. But yes, just you can assume that I have the engineer.
I use engineer. Run away.
I was going to do something very similar.
I want to kill him, but it is not available.
What's not available? Oh, there's no. You can't do anything. There are no characters that you can do system actions on.
No, I cannot do two system actions.
Okay, then yeah, you're right.
Maybe you don't need to. Maybe there's someone who just wants to sow carnage.
And how many negative points is each cube?
Every cube you go over is minus 1 point.
You can renegotiate to get your cube back if you want.
You could renegotiate to get a cube back. Yes.
And if I took the counselor action and just moved him to this pod would still launch.
It would launch at the end of my turn. Yes.
That's maybe.
Potentially.
The pod is going to launch at the end of my turn unless it gets damaged, which is entirely possible because the combat swarms are right there, and somebody could use the combat swarms to damage the pod. If a pod launches when it is damaged, it blows up.
But you are good commander, so you should put the nanomads and heal the stowaway.
It's a very treacherous situation right now. Last turn of the game, a lot of there's a lot of people that are running for the escape pods, hoping they can survive, and there's a combat swarm right there, like right at the rear airlocks. It's this is the climax of the story right now.
So to damage the pods, you have to damage the airlocks. Is that, or you have to actually?
No, you have to damage the actual pod. Yeah, you have to go in there and damage the.
Which you can't do with one action.
And all the commander players have discs on them. So I think.
Yeah, if you can do 2 system actions, you can damage the pod or kill the counselor. Either of those work. But if you damage the pod, then well, the engineer can still repair the pod because they have jury rig. But
that was my turn. I just moved the counselor to the pod. The escape pod Hail Mary.
I'm also going to move a counselor. Probably pointless, but.
That was not
And this
your
is very
turn.
much a Hail Mary.
Oh, sorry, wrong token again. Where am I? Over here.
Come on,
Sorry.
Andy.
It's pointless, but there's not really anything else.
Yeah. Well, it causes me to spend an action doing that instead of doing something else.
We check if we are continuing.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The game is over.
Potentially.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
One more round. Wow. Yeah. There was a 33% chance of these folks making it out alive. Okay, so and it causes me, instead of doing something to mess with anyone else, I obviously want. Well, actually, I don't care about the counselor. I care about the engineer. So yeah. So I'm going to activate the engineer.
Can you? You can't.
You
I can.
probably cannot.
Oh no, I can't. I cannot.
Yeah, that's
You
why
are
I thought what
correct.
Pison did was brilliant.
You are correct. However, I will bribe the engineer. It's a net positive for me. So I'm going to bribe the engineer to go there, use my compromat to go there, and that's my turn. Boom. It's a net 1 point in that process.
Fair.
It's actually more for
It's
for Nav than it is for me. Nav got the best of that.
I activate troubleshooter and I kill the consumer with the drones.
Carnage.
That there's usually a pool of dead bodies in this general area by the end of the game.
I don't think so. Probably.
If we did an analytics of where there has been the most dead bodies in this game, the answer would be the rear hub and the rear airlock. I don't know which one would be the winner there, but it's definitely one of those two.
I think the rear hub.
I would say it's probably the rear hub too, but the rear airlock is a close second in that case. It used to be more of a thing when the murder drones existed, because the murder drones would just go to the rear airlocks and like kill anybody that tried to pass by. And then there was a lot of times where the operative would put all their traps in the rear airlocks.
I'm not sure there's much else to do.
You can take a cube back to make sure that you should probably renegotiate because you're over your cube limit.
That's the only valid thing. I'll do that. I'll take a cube back.
Take cube and or disc.
Take what?
And
You can take a cube, and you can optionally take your disc back. The reason why you may not want to take your disc back is it may give somebody an extra action. In this case, it probably won't.
It's already there.
But yeah.
All right, I'll take a disc back from Not Like It Matters.
I'm also going to be negotiating.
And then that's it. That's Stationfall. So let's do scoring. I can start. I got a bajillion points.
Yeah.
You know, this is clearly an issue with Exile that we need to address. I completely understand that. So I'm trying to put all my things out.
Yes, I have a minor comment.
So those are. So I was the Astro Chimp, and then I had that one. This one didn't survive. That one. This one did not survive. This one did not survive, and that one. So I got, I got 2 VP for surviving. I got 8 more VP for each of these surviving. So that's 10. And then I got 2 more for the Astro Chimp. So that's 12. Not really that. It's not the highest score that I've seen in this game. But yeah, so I got 12 points.
My one issue with that is that.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. I actually am over on my cubes, so I actually have much less than that. So I'm one over. I'm 1 over on my cubes. So I actually have 11 points.
Yeah. So my main issue in that is that is actually beyond my maximum possible.
Yes, that can happen. In which case, you need to stop other people from getting points.
So I get probably nothing.
There are ways to get points also in different scenarios. So, for example, the billionaire starts with 3 bribes, and each one of those bribes is worth a point. So if you jack the billionaire, that's like 3 extra points you could get.
Actually, I think I've got 11 as well.
Well, there you go.
Because what? I am a stranger. I didn't reveal, so. And my bonus card was a Daredevil. I did actually complete the bonus card, so I got another 2 points for that. I was co-located my bonus card, so I got all the points for that. Plus the 2-point bonus for Daredevil surviving, and a bribe puts me on 11.
And you win the tiebreaker because you have more cubes.
The first tiebreaker is the number of cubes in the betrayal box.
Yeah. Wait, is it?
I was asking Matt yesterday, and he said so.
The betrayal box.
Let me actually see if that is in the rulebook. I don't, I don't discount what you said, but I want to make sure that it is in the rulebook. Otherwise, it needs to be in there. Scoring. Tiebreaker. The tie player with the least cubes in betrayal wins. So, yes. In that case, it's still Pyro.
Still same.
All right. So Nav got 8, and Peter also got 8. So this is a high-scoring game all around.
No, that's a minus infinity.
Oh, okay.
Minus infinity.
How much did you get? What was your score, though, Peter?
Otherwise, I get 4.
4? Yeah, that's not too bad. So yeah, that's Stationfall. I will mention again that this was actually a relatively tame game. There wasn't as much depth as there can be. There weren't as many chaotic characters. I've been trying to curate like a good setup for a first-time game that has some amount of chaos, so it's not like super boring. So the engineer and the test subject are kind of like, and the medical bot are kind of like slightly more chaotic characters to give it a little bit of flavor, but not too many weird rules in there. But you all played, 0.1% of what is possible in this game. So I have one quick question, or I guess two quick questions, and then I'd like to get your feedback. Number one, how was the teach? Did you all? What was the rolling start? Did you feel like you were like inescapably confused at the start, or did you have a general idea of like, okay, well, I'm just gonna at least I know things that I can do. And is there anything that you feel like would have made the teach better?
Honestly, I didn't. Anything that kind of came through the teach left me very confused. I ended up just reading the actions and all this, and that's how I learned.
Okay.
I spent my first few turns where I wasn't really paying attention because I was just reading everything.
Okay.
Because I think.
So if I had described the actions more at the start, because I didn't. I basically said I'm not going to describe the actions. I have in the past, but the reason why I didn't describe the actions is because I just wanted to describe them over time, like describe moving and then describe picking up, describe attacking, as those things were happening to try to get the game moving along. But
Yeah,
you're saying that I should have described the actions ahead of time, and that would have helped.
I think the way I usually teach games, I start by I describe a premise. I say, hey, this Stationfall, this is a game of conspiracies going on. We're going to be spending most of our turns is we will walk, and then you walk through the sequence of play. You go, hey, you say, wait, you decide if you're going to put any cubes on a character, which one you're going to activate, and when you activate, you get to perform a list of actions. There is a lot of actions. This is the list. Like,
yeah, and we're going to make it so that there aren't that many base actions. So a lot of these are going to be section actions. So, for example, perform a bridge action really should be a section action. It should be here. It shouldn't be in the action list. Set a timer from within a pod and launch an adjacent pod. Those should also be section actions. So you should be able to launch a pod from here, and that should be a section action that is on this card, not over here. And that would make the base actions like a lot of these things you don't need to know except for very specific situations.
Yeah, and that's not the issue I'm highlighting. The highlight is what I didn't even know this was here until I was looking around the board and found it.
I did mention the actions are here, like I pointed at it, but I'll make sure that people know that is.
Yeah, that was probably like.
Okay. And the glossary, we haven't really I need to make a Pax Viking style glossary of Rosetta Stone that has all of the terms. I haven't done that yet because the game is changing so much that I just haven't gotten around. But I'm going to do that very soon, and that will hopefully help people know more about terms and stuff. Much like in Pax Viking, people can just look anything up at any point, and that should hopefully help.
Yeah. Sorry, I was saying, but yeah, that's. I mean, I also got a little bit lost in teach because I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I worked it out quick enough, though. One thing I will say, I do not see this as a particularly beginner-friendly game, and I don't think there's any way to do that, just because there is so many different possibilities with each room.
This is definitely not going to be a game that we can market to casual players.
Yeah, so that's just something that's always going to be in effect, and if that's something that and that's going to be something that's always going to make a teach of it difficult, and it's if you want to do a proper teach, then you're going to have to take half an hour out to do a proper teach. And that's honestly that's fine. Some games are like that. With a game that's got so much going on as this, that's kind of almost expected.
Yeah. So Matt Eklund does not make simple games. He's also the designer of Pax Transhumanity, Pax Veriana, and a bunch of Pax Renaissance, and those are also very complicated games. So it's not this game. And actually, I developed a basic game that removed a lot of the rules, removed a lot of the elements, and we couldn't even test it because nobody wanted to play it. People were like, "Well, that's not fun. I don't want to play that." Just because it removed, so many elements. We decided instead to just, this is going to be a complicated game, much like Oath, right? Like Oath is not a beginner game. And it is what it is.
That's fine. That is just that particular market. That was actually one of the designers on Paddo helped playtest, and he had this tutorial version and I played it, and they showed me the advanced version, and I went, I want to see this first. Tutorial version just left me lacking on. And he was like, but it's too complicated. It's like, it really isn't, because you've got the same mechanics still involved. And like, that's just something you got to do. If you have a big game, it's got to be a big teach.
Right.
And
that's why I'm concentrating on that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I like the scope of the game, and I like the story it tells, and how things happen. I was in the same position. I felt like I didn't know in the beginning what to do, and you know, I did not actually like peruse the board and like read everything. I was trying to just learn it through the teach, and I just had no idea early on what was going on. Like, I think it would be helpful to be, you know, say these are the main actions you're going to be taking of this list of 12 actions, or however many. These are your main ones. These rooms that have this like symbol, you know, this is what's going to happen if these get blown up, or, you know, just a little bit of
the question is just when to do that. In this teach in particular, I didn't do that at all. I said I'm not going to explain any of the actions. I'm just going to do my turn, and I'm going to explain the actions as they happen. And for example, the last teach, I've actually gone over more of the actions up front. I've done like a full teach. I've done like, you know, here's like the 5 actions that you're probably going to do the most, and I'm testing different things. Obviously, now I know, you know, not saying the actions that are is not the way to go. So I need to at least mention pick up, drop, you know, move, attack.
So that would be my advice
up front.
My advice would be how movement works. The fact that picking up and dropping an item is a free action. Throwing/giving items. How attacking works, like just a general overlap of each kind of item. The most important one, I would say, is surviving.
I didn't know how to survive, and that was my goal.
Yeah, you didn't say that until about halfway through the game, and I'm still here going, at this point, I'd worked out how to survive, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest, I can see that as one of the main concepts, is whether you survive or not. That needs to be highlighted.
I mentioned, early on, I mentioned it very briefly. I said, you know, to survive, you need to get off the station, and you usually get off the station with either through a pod or the dive suit, but I didn't go over exactly how that worked until I saw that people were getting to the point where, because that's usually not a thing to concern yourself with until later, like midway through the game, which is roughly when I mentioned it. But I can mention earlier on, like, hey, this is how you survive, because it is in your victory condition. You're like, okay, well, I have to survive, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I will, I'll cover that earlier.
Yeah, I get that.
I guess it would be helpful to like break it down into like what are the major categories of victory conditions, right? Like, there are characters that focus on survival. There are characters that focus on other.
I believe I did do that though. I did mention like, okay, so if you want points, here are if you want like objects or items, and nobody wanted the artifact, nobody wanted the loot.
Right, yeah, I think you did it for the items, but then like for the survival, like I didn't even know how to get my people that I wanted to survive until like midway into the game.
I get it. And that's valid. I will do that earlier.
Yeah. Honestly, it affected my choice of character as well, because I actually kind of want to play the Daredevil. I did not know how to do 3 of those 4 victory conditions.
So the Daredevil,
you want
to grab the artifact and the bile samples, which did you know how to do that, or
not when I was picking character? This is what I'm trying to hide. There's a lot of things that are quite, because there's a lot going on.
So what you're saying is that I should mention those things, right? So what I would do probably in the future is say, don't choose your playable character until it's your turn. It's probably a thing that I, until like I've described, at least that much, which valid.
I was just trying to highlight that was like one of the things that was popular. Like, that's why I went with Stranger at the end, because like that's simple, just survive with the bonus. That's it. It's my first game. Right. I understand. I just want to be seeing how it plays, so I was okay doing. This is just me giving like just general feedback from like
No, and that's great feedback. Yeah.
I mean, do you think it would be helpful to have a teaching scenario that's like, where you play with?
This is supposed to be the teaching scenario.
No, I understand, but like similar to kind of like the Oath like playthrough where
like
it tells
you
why you're doing certain things.
Yeah, so we're actually planning on doing problem sets where you have I don't know if this is what you mean, but we're planning on having like, okay, kind of like chess sets where it's like checkmate. How do you do checkmate in like 3 moves?
Yeah,
we're planning on having Yeah, so we're planning on doing the same thing here. Of like, okay, well, this needs to happen. This is how you get this to happen.
Yeah, I guess I just
then,
meant like
yeah.
I guess I more meant just like a starting scenario like this for people that just want to like sit down and just learn, the concepts of the game essentially, and you just dish out certain character cards. Like you're the exile. Like don't worry about revealing it, keeping it hidden, just to kind of see
Yeah, that is exactly, yeah.
what your
That is
conditions are, and then be like, this is why you're doing this.
Yeah. So the only thing that would be different than what you just said, but we're planning on doing exactly that. We're planning on making it so that actually in a previous test we even had people reveal, and that's a question that I guess I should ask. I think no, we're pretty much decided because Josh's suggestion was to make everyone play the first game with their characters face up, but Josh has never played this game. So, and I tried that, and it fundamentally changed the game. Like it was. I didn't like the way that it changed the game. I mean, there were pros and cons. Like you were able to see what everyone else was going for, so it was more obvious, and you were able to it was more a bit co-op-y in that case. But I think I've decided
I
that
almost I almost think you do that, but I would suggest maybe like set the game up, where it's kind of already been played, maybe, up through turn 5 or 4 or something, and have everything on the map in a board state that would suggest that people have already played to that level, and then have players take over from that point with their cards revealed, and that way they're only playing like 2 or 3 turns, and they're getting the concepts of how they make things happen, and that might be a way to learn the game a little bit easier. Potentially,
it's an interesting note. It's an interesting note to like start a game that's already like halfway done.
Yeah, that's.
So I'll consider that.
I also wanted to suggest this. So
because then you're playing with the cards revealed. You kind of have the base set up, and then it can just like walk players through the general concepts of how they're doing things without actually spending 3 hours going through a game where they're like, okay, now I think I kind of get it. They're learning through 3 or 4 turns. They're like, oh, I get the concepts. Let's play a real game from the beginning.
Yeah,
if you do that, you can't have a stranger in it.
Yeah,
because that's just
yeah.
Stranger looks really cool, though. The DR.
But yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this game. I would like to try to play some more of it.
So obviously very sandboxy, very asymmetric game, which means it requires many playtests, much like Oath did, and Root did. So I want to get at least 100 playtests in before we send it out, and that means that we need to be playtesting this very regularly. So if you all are interested in playing again, and every game is going to be very different. If you look at the Stationfall stories, you can see just how different. Like I have a geek list of all, like a narrative summary of all the games. It's if you go through like again these are the tamest characters in the game. Like we have characters in here like the telepathic rat can control any character not wearing a helmet, and they can't kill themselves. So you can tell a character to just shoot himself in the face. And they're also a bio sample and they're an item. You have the legal bot, and when the legal bot's in the game, you can't escape unless you have a copy of the NDA. And the legal bot is handing people NDAs, and NDAs allow you to not copy data. They can also change somebody's suspect or guilty status. You have the digital assistant. When the digital assistant is a computer, and if you can activate the computer to do system actions, there's also drones, and you can make the drones do things, and the drones can act as a character, but like using a system action. We called them the murder drones for a while because you could do a lot of murder with the drones. The billionaire has these bribe tokens that you can either jack from the billionaire, or if you are the billionaire, you have extra bribe tokens. The border starts. They start off the station, and not only are they another criminal that starts with a gun, but when you escape, you don't necessarily have to escape with escape pods. You can, if the boarder is a character, if the boarder is not a character, there's a rescue ship, and just being EVA will allow you to survive. So there's that kind of tension of like, is anyone the boarder? If no one's the boarder, then all I need is to be EVA. If someone is the boarder, then I'm not going to survive because that's actually a pirate ship that's going to like kill me. Just different things like that. There's so many different characters. There's also the moles and the aliens, which add even wilder wilder characters. So there's like, an alien huntress that kind of kills people. It's like very predator like, and just different kind of. There's a lot of different possibilities here, and the issue is that we need to test all of these. We need to test all of these victory conditions, or all of these characters against each other, and see stuff like I just did with the exile, where the exile isn't necessarily overpowered on its own. It's the fact that the exile and the counselor and this new rule made it like a little OP, even though I didn't win, so I don't know how OP it was. But we're doing another game tomorrow, 10 a.m., and then another game tomorrow afternoon. Just let me know when you're free. Obviously, if you hang out in this Discord, I also try to post Pyro and the panel and try to get more people there. But like, yeah, we definitely need more. We need like both levels of playtesting on it, and we don't have that right now. For a while, we were only playtesting like once a week because that's as many as you could get. I've been playtesting this since July, and I'm like 35 games in, so I really need to be doing more of these. But yeah, if you have any other feedback or if you think something else, definitely hit me up, message me, post in the Stationfall channel. If you have any more suggestions, those were all great suggestions. Hit me up.
I think those free.
Yeah, happy to play more. What's the general? Do you have like a general timeline?
Yeah, the Kickstarter was gonna be April 6th, but I begged and pleaded that was we weren't gonna, that was too soon. So the Kickstarter has been delayed to like April 20 something. I think April. It's late April, and that's when the Kickstarter goes up. And we're hoping to have actual art. Like we're doing the character art now. And then this game is going to have like minis for an add-on. It's not going to have it in the base game because it's terrible. But we're hoping to have actual art by the time the Kickstarter comes around, and that'll fix a lot of the legibility things. And hopefully we stick the landing on this, and we can get this.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is kind of crucial for Ion right now. Ion is kind of in a very tenuous state. So I